Robert Cray cultivated a mainstream following in the 1980s and 1990s. In the course of a long-running career that began in the 1970s, he uniquely blended elements of rhythm and blues, pop and traditional blues to win fans to a more contemporary blues sound. Cray has not been without his critics, mostly blues purists unhappy with the tainting of the traditional blues sound with other genres. However, Cray made no apologies for his music, and he's been rewarded with 5 Grammy Awards for his innovative style. It was about this time 1 year ago that I boarded the Greyhound bus in Memphis and headed for Nashville. My first night was to attend the Robert Cray concert at the Ryman Theatre, along with the Peter Frampton Guitar Circus. Wouldn't you know it, the Greyhound bus got in very late and I made it to the concert with about 5 minutes to spare. Little did I know that 1 year later I'd be talking to the fabulous Robert Cray. Welcome to the airwaves of Cairns FM 89.1, Robert.
Thank you, Irene. Thank you so much.
Do you remember that concert? That was 1 year ago, almost to the day.
I do. I remember that show. That was the first of the Peter Frampton dates that we did together on that the Guitar Circus tour with Peter Frampton, and that was my first meeting with Peter Frampton, and we had a great time. It was a lot of fun.
It was a great night indeed, and to have Steve Cropper show up as well was an absolute bonus.
Yeah, Steve, that's right. Steve was there, and as well as a couple others. So that was a great night.
Yeah, Vince Gill.
Vince Gill was there.
Yeah, but we're here to talk about you. Now, although your recordings are many, when I think of you, I just can't help but think of Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. To me, that is your signature song. Would that be true of the majority, do you think, and does that bother you at all?
Well, I know a lot of people really love that record. We have the good fortune now of having a lot of records. So, you know, we get to play stuff from that particular album, and we get to play stuff from even up to the current record and before Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. Mm-hmm.
Well, 17 albums, in fact, 17 studio albums, including the latest one, which we're here to talk about, In Your Soul.
Right, and then that's just been out for the last couple of months, and, you know, I think In My Soul represents the current lineup in the band, and so going back to the last, when we were talking about Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, you know, it's like the latest is always my favorite, you know what I mean? In the sense that it's about what's going on with us now. And In My Soul, it's got a lot, as the album title suggests, there's a lot of soul on this new record. And I think we've covered a lot of different bases as far as the genre of soul is concerned on this record. And it was just kind of like by osmosis. We didn't set out to make a soul record. I think that everybody was on the same page when we got together with all the music.
I've already been playing quite a few tracks on Drivin Home with the Blues, and I will continue to do so, of course. But I'm loving the lyrics in the track. What would you say? If we quit waging war, children felt safe to sleep, learning to talk over something to eat, etc. Was there one thing or event that prompted you to write that song?
Yes, there was. And that's the crisis that continues in Syria. And, you know, they showed footage of the gassing, you know. And I think of, you know, my own family and our son, you know, and just, you know, how it is when you have children, if you have children, and how peaceful they look when they're sleeping, you know. And I just couldn't imagine young children, you know, feeling safe with all what's going on is going on, you know. So yeah, that had a lot to do with it.
Well, I don't have children, but I do hear you loud and clear, and every morning that I wake up, I'm grateful that I woke up, you know, in a peaceful environment, in my own bed, you know, warm and safe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's a very sad world we live in at the moment in many respects, so yes, I particularly like the lyrics of that track. You've been described by New Yorker magazine as one of the most reliable pleasures of soul and blues. That's quite a compliment.
That is nice. Well, you know, that's the kind of music that we enjoy. I mean, to me, I don't differentiate between the two. I mean, I like it all, you know. And that's what we, set out to do, was to play the kind of music that we enjoy. And we're lucky, I think, enough to continue doing that.
Do you enjoy coming to the land down under? And how many times have you been to Australia? Or have you lost count?
I do enjoy coming down under, and we don't get there as often as I'd like to. We were in Australia just it'll be about a year and a half ago, and I think we've probably been down, maybe close to 10 times over the last 20 years. So, but we need to come down more often.
I think you first came out here in about 87, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I saw you in concert in Sydney when I was working for Good Morning Australia as entertainment producer back in those days, and I got to see a lot of fabulous concerts, including yours.
No, thank you. I wish we could come down more often. But we're working on it. We're always working on it. But I know there's some emphasis on trying to get back down in the top of the coming year.
What is the best advice you've ever been given, would you say?
Just to be yourself. There are so many other people, in this world doing music, and nobody can be you but you. And I think that's the best bit of advice I've ever been given.
And what would you say has been the best time in your life?
Well, being here now is the best time of my life, you know what I mean? Because of the fact that, we're still able to do what we do. We pick the music that we want to do and play, and that's the way it's always been. And I think, once again, we're lucky enough. We're just lucky to be able to go on stage and have fun with that. And I look forward to every opportunity that we get to do this.
It's a question I ask quite a lot of artists, and I was fortunate enough to finally get to the Byron Bay Blues Fest just recently, and I did ask the question of several artists, and funnily enough, a lot of them said the same thing, that now is the time they're enjoying the most.
Yeah. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring.
Well, we have to wrap this up, so I'll let you have the last word on what you'd like to say to the listeners today.
I want to thank everybody for all these years of support, and once again, I want to come down and play for everybody down under. So look forward to us coming, and we're going to do our best to get down there as soon as we can. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And that's good news, because I don't want to have to travel to Nashville again to see you.
That's a long way. And then plus you had to ride the bus.
I know. But that's
thank you, Irene.
Thank you. And that's an experience one has to do when you're in the USA. You've got to travel on the Greyhound.
Yeah. Well, we have a running joke in our organization that if somebody's going to get let go, meaning fired, we'll buy you a bus ticket back home as opposed to flying you back home.
Nice guy. All right. Lovely to end on a happy note, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Irene. Take care. Bye-bye.